WAOC is on the road this week in Illinois. I'm Marty, and we're recording this week's episode of Warehouse and Operations as a Career in Chicago. I'm in town visiting a couple of facilities, and of course couldn't come through the Windy City without reaching out to our WAOC Tech and Facilities guy, Phillip. Thanks for stopping by the Hotel Phillip. We got to get these episodes in as we can, right? How you been, sir?
I've been great. Thank you, sir. Glad to be here.
We'd like to thank you for sitting down with us for a bit today. It's been too long since you've been on the show.
I know, life takes its course. With the busy schedules that I've been having lately, it's been kind of hard to sit still and record a show, but I'm happy that I'm able to do it today, especially by you being in my neck of the woods.
Yeah, you must be glad to be home. I think last time we spoke, you'd been up in Pennsylvania for about a month on a facility rollout.
Yep, that's right. My job requires me to go on these rollouts every now and again. That's when we do a startup for a different fraction of our company. Rollouts are really enjoyable. So being away from home, it doesn't bother me at all because I'm working and at the same time I'm able to, enjoy the fruits of being in a different state and things of that nature.
It is. It's always kind of nice being on the road. Well, we probably ought to get into today's show, but first I'd like to thank all of our listeners out there. We crossed that 10,000 downloads or streams threshold this week, 10,000 listens on the WAOC podcast. I'd like to thank each of you for all of your shares, your emails, and follows and tweets over the last several months. We have a lot of fun researching the topics you've sent in and looking up or gathering answers for the questions that's asked each week. I hope we've gotten a little easier to listen to. We're trying to learn as we go, and I thank you for your patience. I hope we're bringing some sort of value to your positions and goals and aiding in your pursuit of your careers. Phillip, we were talking a little earlier today about leads and supervisors that come up from the floor and how challenging it is for them these days. You have a pretty interesting story yourself. You've had a pretty busy 5 years, actually, and accepted several of those challenges. When I first met you, you were lumping or unloading freight, I believe, and basically have held several positions since then. Would you mind sharing a bit of your story with our group, sir?
Yeah, that's funny that you brought that up. Yeah, that was at a point let me start by saying I got over 20 years experience in warehouse. But at that time when I met you, I had went through a plant closure with the previous job that I was with. So it was a little bit difficult to get a position in my field, something that was beneficial and satisfactory to me. So I found a home where I had the challenge of having to start from the bottom. And that's where, you see me at that point where I was trying to learn this business that I'm in right now. And I accepted the challenge, and here I am.
Fantastic. As you know, I work with several young leads and supervisors. It's so interesting to witness their growth in leadership and the different ways they handle each of the, the challenges with their peers. I believe their first big challenge is usually how to go from being a friend, a coworker on the floor, to directing and counseling the very workers they used to hang out with. I mean, we know their work ethics and how they may or may not be exactly following the rules and procedures. On my flight out here, I ran across an article on Twitter. Be sure to check out Bud the Boss using the little @ BUDTOBOSS. They have some great articles on leading and supervising. The article I read was 5 things a smart manager does to decrease change resistance. And I'll add that link to the show notes on our website so you can check it out. Now, WAOC isn't affiliated with them in any way. I think you may find them interesting, though, so I wanted to share a few excerpts with you. The 5 points that they brought up were, number 1, sell more than you tell. Understanding that telling someone what's going to happen is very different from selling them on the ideal. I myself always try and share a little on the why we're doing something, maybe share the goal, if you will, instead of just telling. Number 2 was help people tune in to WII-FM. Be prepared to answer the question on every employee's mind, what's in it for me? This sounds kind of difficult, but again, I found by sharing a little, maybe just taking a little extra time explaining something, that it's a lot easier to give an associate that answer. Number 3, work through the head grapes. Every organization has a grapevine, an unofficial communication channel that often moves faster than the official ones. You might call the people who other people listen to, those who influence the grapevine, the head grapes. It's so important to know your associates and respect each one of them. I try to know each one of my employees. Number 4, break the change into bite-sized pieces. While you can't wait forever for people to get on board, understand that people need both information and time to accept a change. Break big changes into small pieces that people are willing to accept more quickly. I think this is really important. I myself understand changes better when I'm not dealing with, 20 components of change to reach the ultimate goal. Number 5, build positive momentum. By breaking big changes into bite-sized pieces, you create positive momentum. I think it helps reduce the chance of failure too. Even if only one piece or component has to be revisited, we've broken that forward momentum, right? I found these really interesting, definitely gave me something to think about. If you're new to leadership roles or contemplating that next step, I'd follow them on Twitter and check out some of their thoughts. Philip, I remember you were promoted from the crew, right? How'd you learn to handle it?
It's kind of funny you said that. It wasn't difficult for me because of I was always a guy that went above and beyond, and my superiors always kind of came to me as the go-to guy. I was always able to lead by example or influence other guys to follow my footsteps. So when I did ease into that role, it was like I was already doing that role before it was, I guess, granted to me. But it was a real easy transition for me because of the respect level. I was always a fair guy, treated people the way I wanted them to treat me, as if I was the boss. If they were my superior and I was the employee.
I was really lucky with my first step into leadership in my lead task. I was transferred from the night shift onto the day shift, from order selecting into the warehouse side of inventory control. I knew all the crew, but hadn't been working with them, every day, so I think my transition was a little easier. However, I did find that the men I had worked with every night, they kind of did treat me a little differently for a while. I associated it with me moving to days, but now looking back, I'm sure it had more to do with my step into a leadership role. So, Philip, from your lead position, you moved into a supervisor role. Along with the normal challenges, you were kind of at arm's length from your management team, actually kind of your company's representative in that state. How'd you handle that? Did it present any additional challenges for you?
Yeah, it was quite a challenge. I kind of moved up the ladder rather quickly, and I think it was due to my hunger for knowledge. I was able to get a wealth of information and learn from people that was willing to teach me little things that I needed to grow with the particular company that I'm with now. And it just became easier and easier to me as I got more comfortable with my daily roles. Even though I was a representative in the state, I knew that I had people at my corporate office that was 100% behind me and helped me to grow because, it was an asset to our company. But yeah, to sum it up, I'm always up for a challenge. That's just the story of my life. I'm always willing to go to that next level. The sky's the limit when it comes to learning and growing.
And now you're a regional facility manager with that same company and oversee their technology and timekeeping systems. And as if that didn't probably keep you busy, you're responsible for houses in like 2 states, a total of 3 houses, and work with about 9 others and their soups with their technology concerns. That kind of keeps you busy. How do you handle all that?
Yeah, I know it seems like a lot, but I got to be perfectly honest. it's because I love what I do. It's nothing more soothing or gratifying than to love what you do. And I made a career out of it, and I plan to just keep growing and learning. And it's really easy to handle because I love what I do.
I don't think you could have put that better. We here at WAOC, we talk a lot about you've got to enjoy your job. And if you love what you're doing, it makes that career much more satisfying. Well, Phillip, I guess we'd both better get back to it. I want to thank you for taking a few minutes with our WAOC group again, and let's not let it take so long before your next visit.
Oh, I agree. I'm glad you invited me out. Yeah, we got to get back to it. And, please include me anytime.
And a big thanks to all our listeners this week. We really appreciate your time as well, and I hope we bring you something of value each week. Please remember WAOC is on Twitter and Facebook. You can find us using the little @ WHSEANDOPS. And our website can be found at warehouseandoperationsasacareer.com, where you can always find our show notes and any research material and links that we may mention each week. All of our jobs are tough, our hours can be long, and the task we're around can really present dangers. Let's remember, it's all of our jobs to follow our safety procedures, teach those procedures to others, and it's always a great thing to participate in our safety meetings and contribute where we can.